UUSS. If you would rise in body or spirit to sing We Shall Be Known. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we cry. It is time we lead ourselves into the world. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time now that we ourselves into the world. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. One more time. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the world. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love.
What a time to be alive. And what a time to be together. Good morning. So glad to see all of you on this rainy morning. Welcome to our Sunday service, our sacred time of worship together. I'm the Reverend Lucy Bunch. I'm serving this morning alongside our ministerial intern, Rosemary Dodd. Karen Sparrow is our worship associate. Rosemary is preaching today, and her topic is Liberating Love. We also want to welcome youth from the Pacific Central District's Young Religious UU group. They're here for a training. They've been here all weekend, and we're happy to include them this morning in our service. Whether you are here in person or participating online, morning Zoomers, we are so glad that you're here. Whoever you are, wherever you are on your journey, we welcome you. And in the spirit of beloved community, we honor the Nisenan, Southern Maidu, and Miwok peoples for their enduring commitment to steward the land where UUSS exists. We recognize that they have never ceded, left, nor ceased to care for this land. If you're on Zoom, make sure to click on the link in the chat box to get a view of the order of service. There are so many ways to connect in this vibrant community. Each week there are tables in the welcome hall where you can see all the things that are going on. You can fill out a newcomer form so that you can receive our weekly message. The blue sheet, which is blue and is a sheet, has all the information about what's happening here in the coming week at UUSS. And those of you on Zoom, please stay after for breakout room chats to get to know people, welcome newcomers, and talk about your experience of the service together. Here in person, we have coffee, tea, opportunities to meet and greet each other, and soup. Today's a soup Sunday. There's only one more soup Sunday, so this is the penultimate soup Sunday. Is that the right word? So lots of delicious choices. The line forms going around the back through the hallway. So don't worry, ask somebody, you'll find your way. We'd love a $5 donation, but if you're new to us or you just don't have any cash in your pocket, join us anyway. We love everybody to participate. Today is also the last day of our canned food drive. We've been all contributing hearty flip-top cans of food for River City Food Bank to provide food to our unhoused community. We're working towards a goal of 100 cans, so hopefully you brought some today. You can put them, give them at the table that's right near the door to the welcome hall. There'll be a friendly person there. And if you forgot today and you still want to participate, just bring them to the office up until Friday. They're going to be taking them to River City Food Bank on Friday. So now please take a moment to silence any noisemakers that you may have on your person so that we all can be present. I encourage you at home to do that as well, maybe even put your phone in another room so it's not bothering you during the service. Come, let us enter into this place of sanctuary as a community of love and support.
Thank you, Irina. Good morning. I'm Karen Sparrow, your worship associate this morning, and our chalice lighter is Peter Kell. Peter, come on forward. He's the leader of the youth group this weekend. If you're at home, be sure and get your candles ready, and we'll light our chalices together. This reading is from Into the Light by Margot Reinhardt. May this chalice bring us to the precipice of truth, where nothing can be hidden from the flame, and may we find the reckoning place where our souls burst open into the liberating light.
yonder. I'd like to invite all those involved in RE, child and adult alike, to make their way out towards the back as we guide you with, you gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Don't give up hope. Don't give up hope. You're not alone. You're not alone. Don't you give up. Don't you give up. Keep moving on. Keep moving on. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I need my pieces of paper. We all arrive today from our lives, carrying with us the bits and the pieces of the things that sit on our hearts. And each week we lift up joys and sorrows from our community because we know that joys shared are sweeter and sorrows shared are a little bit lighter. And so take a moment now and get comfortable in this space in whichever way works for you. A stretch, a deep breath, a yawn. That's what I have. And listen a little bit to what your heart is bringing to this time of holding. To our loving community today, I bring from Gina Gennari that she's thinking of her sister Patrice, who's receiving hospice support. Gina's hoping that she has months of enjoyment with her children and grandchildren. From Mary Howard, gratitude for the encouraging comments and nourishing food I've received during recovery from knee surgery. I feel loved. Whatever it is that you hold in the silent sanctuary of your heart, it's held here together. I bring us this prayer from Becky Brooks. It's called Power Prayer. Spirit of life, I have witnessed an out loud love that challenges me. I did not recognize it at first. The rumble of an ocean I had long been under. But here it is right now, and it looks just like the whole world could be. It doesn't play nice. Why should it, when nice has only ever played it a lullaby? This love demands. A love so loud it lays rocks at the feet of children who can't find their path home across the pipeline any other way. This love is indifferent to tolerance. It invites you into your own heart, where God, love self, has come to take tea with you. Drink and know that, like that other love, this love always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Perseveres. This out loud love makes no secret of its aim to get you free. But first, set fires. Throw the poison to the ground. Match the love, sound for sound. Spirit of life, come and bring everyone. We're giving birth to someone new.
Please remain seated as we sing There Is a Love. There is a love holding me. There is a love holding all that I love. There is a love holding all my rest in this love. There is a love holding us. There is a love holding all that we love. There is a love holding all. We rest in this love. We rest in this love.
Today's reading is written by the wonderful Victoria Safford. Our mission is to plant ourselves at the gates of hope, not the prudent gates of optimism, which are sometimes narrower, not the stalwart, boring gates of common sense, nor the strident gates of self-righteousness, which creak on shrill and angry hinges. People cannot hear us there, they cannot pass through. Nor the cheerful, flimsy garden gate of, everything's going to be wonderful. But a different, sometimes lonely place, the place of truth-telling about your own soul first of all, and its condition. The place of resistance and defiance, the place of ground from which you see the world, both as it is, as it could be, as it will be. The place from which you glimpse not only struggle, but the joy of struggle. And we stand there, beckoning and calling, telling people what we are seeing, asking people what they see. Thank you, Irina and Paul McCartney.
And John Baptiste. John Baptiste.
Oh, and John Baptiste. Generosity is our spiritual practice. Your gifts given in the spirit of generosity support the life and work of this community, and the work of the community includes reaching out to others in need. Every Sunday morning, half of our offering is given to an organization our congregation has chosen to support, an organization that works with us to heal the world. Our community partner this month is Sacramento Area Congregations Together, or SAC-ACT. For the last 30 years, this organization has been a powerful, multiracial, multi-faith organization advocating a transformation of our community rooted in our shared faith values. SAC-ACT empowers ordinary people to identify and change the conditions that create economic and racial injustice. UUSS is proud to be one of the 56 congregations making up SAC-ACT, membership in directly supporting their work, housing, and climate change issues. On the slide and in the chat on Zoom, you can see how to contribute electronically or by mailing a check here to UUSS. You can even text from your seat your donation. Please give generously in support of this important organization. Thank you for your generosity. The offering will now be given and received. As the ushers bring forward the gifts, please join with me in speaking our unison words of intent for this offering. May generosity bless our world, and may gratitude nourish our spirits.
It was 2014, and I was attending our annual National UU conference called General Assembly, and the theme that year was Love Reaches Out. I was 17, and I had decided that love was not my central value, definitively. And I don't remember when I made that decision, or really how. It wasn't the result of any particular moment of deep despair, teen angst. I just remember feeling that love was not a key part of my relationship with my faith community. Commitment, sure. Challenge, yes. Hope, definitely. But love? That felt vague, inexact, uninspiring, Hallmark affiliated. Since then, our Unitarian Universalist Association has embarked on a process to reassess and adapt our central values, the statement of our principles and sources of faith that's found in Article 2 of the bylaws. The group leading that process, the Article 2 Study Commission, has spent 2 years talking to thousands, like 10,000 Unitarian Universalists, asking big questions about what the values are that connect us all in the 21st century. The central value? Yeah, you guessed it, love. They put love at the center, and they say that love is the power that holds us together and is at the center of our shared values. We are accountable to one another for doing the work of living our shared values through the spiritual discipline of love. More inspiring. And so now I want to tell you about why I'm ready for that love, and it's not just because I'm not 17. It's because I think that the love at the center of this proposal is a liberating love, a love that has real power, a radical love that calls me past tolerance and into accountability, mutuality, and growth. And it's not because I grew older that I had some kind of revelation about some grand theological concept about all of this. Really, this is something I learned from our youth. Can I tell a story about you guys? Some of you were specifically there. Peter and Peyton, okay, great. So a few years back, I was an adult advisor at a UU summer camp for middle schoolers. It was engaging, exhausting, and enriching week. And towards the end of the week, we had an event called the Unnamed Event, and it was a talent show. And 2 youth emceed, they introduced the acts, and other youth signed up to perform with what I remember as great enthusiasm. And the night of Coffee House, we were in the lodge, at the campground, in the redwood forest, and middle schoolers were giving some of the weirdest, strangest, most intense emotional performances that I've ever seen. They were interpretive dancing. They were improvising haiku. Remember, that was really good. They were reciting facts about science. They were playing songs on guitar, figuring it out as they went along. They were singing pop songs completely a cappella. And the miracle, I want to say, wasn't that any of these youth got up on stage and performed. Performance wasn't really the point. The miracle was that the rest of the youth were rapt, completely enchanted with one another. There was no mocking. There was no calling of names or laughter at the expense of anyone else. There was joy, there was revelry and laughter, and there was love. And you want to guess who was uncomfortable? The adult advisors. Yes, those of us who are passionate about building community and UU values and the magic of spending a week together in the Redwoods had somehow lost the ability to get out of our heads and into our hearts, to feel the kind of radiating, uplifting love that these youth were feeling. We shifted on the benches in the back of the room, uncomfortable. And we felt awkward, not only because this performance wasn't for us, but I think some of us were dealing with the guilt that the rest of the world would not treat these youth how they were treating each other. The rest of the world would not treat these youth how they were treating each other. A lot of these kids are LGBTQ, experimenting with gender presentation. We've got a lot of neurodiverse kids. These were kids who were cool at school and had 2 moms at home. These were kids who were part of the foster system. And I think that we, their advisors, were a little afraid or ashamed, perhaps, that we had not yet built a world in which they could all thrive. Or maybe we were just tired or bored at that moment. But I think there was more going on. But notably, we were not giving them back the love they were giving one another. Or we weren't even helping out by holding up mirrors to that love. We were shrinking away instead, despite our named intention of our program playing out before our eyes. It was working. And it's true. I'm sometimes really afraid that the world which embraces each of us in the way that those middle schoolers were able to is not yet possible and might never be. And I felt the urge in that moment to protect these youth, to tell them to shrink themselves, to make themselves less vulnerable. But these youth knew better than us what it meant and means to be a Unitarian Universalist. They were living a theology of love in the center, of loving one another no matter the labels that society puts on most of us. And fear is a really common emotion as a middle schooler. Think back. Especially one who is actively singing at a talent show. But love, radical love, liberating love, was much, much more powerful. Love conquering fear is not a new theme. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s own concept of radical love was Christian, centered around the experience of the Black church. Dr. Cornel West writes that King understood radical love as self-examination, where the fearful, hateful, egoistic self dies daily to be reborn into a courageous, loving, sacrificial self. That radical love doesn't only transform our relationships with ourselves. Cornel West also says that King had a radical love of humanity, and especially of poor and working people, and that radical love led him to a radical analysis of power, domination, and oppression. That analysis of power and deep moral reckoning left him heartbroken yet with so much clarity about the corruption in our country and the possibilities for healing as well. So not only does love liberate us from fear, it lets us see the realities in front of us clearly, and that's painful. I grew up in a Unitarian Universalism that was recovering, and still is, from the simplified multiculturalism of the 1990s. An allergy to naming the histories of racism and harm within our own Unitarian Universalist faith. And as a teenager, I listened to the stories of peers, other youth who were people of color, who felt deeply unwelcome in their congregations. They experienced microaggressions, tone policing, and were shamed for the relationship they had to the Christianity of their families. Their Unitarian Universalist communities welcomed them on the surface. Yet that love was a love without power behind it. It felt like tolerance instead of love. And all of these youth, they knew that liberating love was what they deserved. And so they left. And so did other youth, for other reasons, and I do not blame them. And that's why the Love Reaches Out theme felt so dissonant to me in 2014. I had already witnessed what happens when radical love refuses to leave any one of us behind, and what happens when a tepid love without power tolerates instead of liberates. I didn't have the words I do now, but I knew there was some serious self-reflection for Unitarian Universalists to do before our love could reach out. As Unitarian Universalists, are we ready to put love's name to the tenderness of community and care that we build within our walls? Cornel West says that justice is what love looks like in public, just like tenderness is what love feels like in private. And that will require that we tell the truth, that inequality persists long past the time of Martin Luther King. That kind of truth must be unarmed, and the love must be unapologetic. And these are not necessarily popular truths. Just as Martin Luther King was not popular or moderate in his day, as whitewashed versions of history would have us believe. King preached that power without love is reckless and abusive, and love without power is sentimental and anemic. Power at its best is love implementing the demands of justice, he said, and justice at its best is power correcting everything that stands against love. Unitarian Universalists have long shied away from choosing a central value, 7 principles in equal standing. It is courageous of us now to choose to center love, which I sincerely hope is the same kind of love that Dr. King had his own roots in. Love that is without condition, love that ties us up together across our divisions, calls us to witness injustice and prejudice even when they are within us. And so, the love that I think we're going to vote nationally to adopt as the value at the center of our faith this year must continue to have real meaning. We do not have to be perfect to do that, but we must come back to love with power behind it. In this faith, let us magnify the light we find in one another rather than shy away from it.
rise in body or spirit to sing this joy. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. This strength that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This strength that I have, but the world didn't give it to me. This strength that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. This peace that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This love that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This love that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. This pride that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, this pride that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Let me tell you, this pride that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. This peace that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This peace that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This peace that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. This peace that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, let me learn. This peace that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This peace that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away.
As we prepare to extinguish our chalice, please join me in the chalice lighting words. We extinguish this flame, but we carry the light, love, and commitment of this gathering into the days to come.
As we reach out to one another, go in peace, go with liberating love, and go and be blessed as you are already a blessing. Amen.